All right, beautiful ones. So beautiful to be here with all of you. Taking a moment here to drop in, allow yourself to have your eyes open or close, whatever feels good for you. Welcome to the beautiful ones who are just joining us. And let yourself really turn the light inward. Turning the light inward simply means allowing yourself to be fully present, whether it's in your eyes, your physical eyes, or whether it is in your third eye. Just envision the light that you're shining outward, turning in. And allow yourself to take a deep inhale through the third eye. And let it exhale through the heart. One more time, deep inhale through the third eye. And exhale it all out through the heart. A few more times at your own pace. Let this be a cleansing effect. Let it cleanse the channel through and through. In through the third eye and out through the heart, the front of the heart and the back of the heart. And we are going to allow our pelvic bowl to land even deeper. If you're seated, allow that to come in. Anchor down to the earth that you're seated upon. Give yourself permission to receive the support that is ever present on the very earth that we're living on. Let it support your pelvic bowl. Let it support your spine. Let the tailbone really land. Sink down. And sink your breath down from the heart deeper into your belly. Every breath you take now comes into the belly. As you exhale, I want you to exhale out through the tailbone, all the way down. Let your energy, let your breath open up your thigh joints. Let it move through and melt and loosen any sticky muscles here. Let it enter through your knee joints and all the way through your ankle joints. Open it from the inside and flow right into the soles of your feet. So much is here. Everything that is interconnected, the great interconnected web linking back into your body, into your aura, is right here in the soles of your feet. And exhaling through the toes, let yourself go deeper into the earth. Feel the greatness of being a child of this earth, that you chose to come here. That you are not separate from nature. That nature is very much who you are. Just as nature is giving life to you, you are giving life to nature. Whether you know it or not. As the steward of this earth, as the wisdom keeper who hold the key to bridging the cosmos and the earth. Let this energy really rise through the earth, up through your body, through the legs, into your belly, into your solar plexus and your heart, into your throat, your shoulder joints opening, flowing through the arms, into the elbow joints, opening the elbow joints, loosening any sticky muscles, any heaviness. Let this wave of light enter through your hands and your fingers. Let your arms be raised by this lightness now, this beautiful energy that's almost like a balloon that is growing bigger and bigger, and so it's raising your arms up on its own. All the way up. You are the director of the direction of your chi. Direct it upwards now. Let your arms float up, and then you decide, bring the chi down through the center of your crown. All the way down, your arms are being pushed down as the pressure continues to fall down, down, down. All the way through the channel in your body, integrating the light, integrating the divine presence into your being. Placing one hand on top of another at the level of the place below your belly button. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. All right. So welcome, beautiful ones. Release your hands. Come into this space and let me know how you are. I have this beautiful transmission that I want to share today. And I want to kick off with sharing those. Well, sharing story is really the way that I share my medicine. And so I don't want you to feel like I am telling you something that has nothing to do with what you're going to receive today. Every word has something to do with what you are going to receive today. And if you are here, I encourage you to receive it. I encourage you to receive it fully. You know, we live in a time when a lot of us get into healing thinking that we need to cut out something, that we need to, you know, fix something, that there is a problem that needs a resolution. And we're so caught up in this idea that I need to release something that no longer serves me, and that will make me better. That will make me a better person. That will give me a better life, that I can have better relationships. And I really want to say that this is only one side of the story. How about putting our attention on more connections, more genuine connections, more heart-to-heart presence? Not just you sitting there behind your screen and not wanting to be seen, not commenting, not sharing. And even if you love this, you don't share because you don't want anyone to know that you are into these kind of things, quote unquote. I really feel that it's time for us to really move the wheel forward. We have been in a time for so long of rising through the spiritual gunk, like the spiritual awakening has been happening rapidly in the past couple of years. And I feel that a lot of you are in this place where it feels like something has happened and nothing has really quite happened yet. If that's you, let me know. You know that feeling. Like, I know that I am connected with the divine. I had this incredible miracle that happened, probably a few miracles that has happened. And yet, maybe, perhaps, and let me know in the comment section, like, you have taken the leap. You say that you want to do this. You want to help the world. You want to do the work that you are here to do. You want to be a creative. You want to be a doula. You want to be an artist. You want to be a healer. You want to be a mentor. You want to be whatever it is. And there is a part of you that has been exposed to that divine connection, things that you cannot really literally explain. And yet you're in this position right now where you have started the journey. You have said, I'm going after my dream. I'm going to let God live through me. I'm going to let the divine live through me. I mean, tell me in your own words, what does that sound like? But I don't have clients. I don't have people who are listening to me. When I go live, nobody tunes in. When I share my offerings, nobody really turns up. And I think I probably have to go back and look at maybe getting another strategy coach, maybe getting into another AI course, because everyone is working with ChatGPT. Maybe I need to get into one of those things that teaches me how to attract people. And if it's a relationship, it's the same thing. It's like getting into this race to get to the ideal one, the right relationship, the getting through all the weeds in order to get to the gold. And we're constantly in this state of like, I need to cut through. I need to cut. And there's never really a moment to consider, who am I now? Who am I in this part of the evolution of my soul? Am I now, when I get into a hate space of thinking, oh, this is not working. Oh, it's because the government is doing this, so I can't do that. Oh, this is like, people are not buying my stuff. Nobody is listening to my stuff. So I must suck. Like, when you get into that hate space, has it ever occurred to you that you are literally in that moment abandoning your soul? And take a deep breath. In the moment when we are tested, and I want you to know this, when I say tested, I never subscribe to the idea that the universe on purpose throws something out to you and tests you and see if you can handle it. I'm not in that party. I've never subscribed to it. It's never resonated with me. When I say tested, what I literally mean is this still alive in you? Is this belief actually true to you? That's it. Because the divine is literally incarnating into you at every moment. So there is never this whole idea of the divine wants this and I want something else. And so the divine is testing me and making things really hard. And so I need to do this and do that. And so I need to be better. I need to No. Please take a deep breath, because we're going into deep waters immediately, I know, but it also is an invitation for you to really contemplate, what does it mean for me to embody the divinity that I am? Where is there a perfectionistic old paradigm standard that I'm still applying to this idea of being connected with the divine, to be fully one with my soul. This is a very multi-layered conversation, obviously. And that is the reason why I'm going to be sharing a lot more of this in a mentorship space, in a mastermind that I'm opening up. Because the idea of who we are is the very, 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 very first step that we need to take. And disrupting any old standards that you hold that is not true at all. You know, the belief system that limits you. And then we have to look at, okay, the identity crisis, as I call it, when we move from a place where we used to operate so much in the old paradigm, in the matrix. And now I am fully in this place of claiming and reclaiming this deep remembrance in me as a divine being. I don't feel like a lot of people have spoken about this. And the reason why I resonate so deeply with that, and the reason why I want to bring this forward today, is because I have personally gone through it. A few years ago, when I spoke about this story before, but I really want to add a lot more, light transmission into it. So please, please, please allow yourself to open your heart to tune into this. Not just hear me, but with your heart, tune into the frequency that's emanating through this story. 2024. Perhaps 2023. I can't remember now. Probably 2023. This is how I've changed so much, that I've transformed so much, that time to me has just literally slipped through my fingers. But I remember I was on the cusp of building a really beautiful business based on, talking about self-love, talking about body image, talking about being true to yourself. And I had clients, I had the business going, I had my offerings were up, everything was going. I went to Sky for a holiday with my husband. And it was one of those days where I would say we had a really freaky kind of weather, because we were supposed to go during a time where we thought it's going to still be cold. So it's probably going to rain. But by the time we got there, the sun was streaming. It was shining so brightly, like literally you are blinded if you looked into it. I remember walking through the fairy pools and I said, I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to have some tea. I brought my tea stuff. My husband was the one who was carrying all my tea stuff. And I said, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to have a ceremony here. So I took out my tea and I honored the mountains that surrounded us. And the divine feminine energy was so strong when I was there. And by the fairy pools, I heard, the divine desires to live through you. Please take a deep breath. I said, yes, 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 yes. The divine desires to live through me. What an honor. Let's go. Let's do it. I got back into the bus after the tea ceremony. I got back into the bus. Got back home, got back to the place that we were staying in Sky. And during that journey, I already started to get ideas pouring through, like ideas for a place, like a new mentorship space that I'm going to work with that is completely different from what I was doing. It was about the divine. It was called the Quiet Revolution. And it was my stake on the ground, because I knew that this vortex, this place of complete presence and stillness is where we can find the divine within us. That if we could find that within us, we could do literally anything Because if we are spiritual, if I know I'm divine, everything I do is divine. Everything I see, everyone I see is divine. And this is not me being tripped up on psychedelics. This is me anchored, grounded, embodied in this deep knowing. I saw that vision when I was in Sky. But the journey to this version of me was a whole other story. I had to walk that journey myself. I didn't become that woman like that. So that journey began when I said yes. And during the times, I remember the first moment I started talking about this encounter, I was met with so many people who thought I was crazy. Either that or people who said that they were spiritual, heard this story and they're like, great for you. Like, what the heck, you know? And so I started to delve into it. I realized that we have so many aspects to our souls. And please take a deep breath. Let me know if this resonates. If it's getting too deep and you can't understand what I'm saying, let me know as well. This is a place where you don't need to agree with me, but it's good for you to let me know if you're not following so that I know where you're at and then I can bring it back. But as you are here with me, I'm going to keep going with this story. I started to delve deeper into what it meant to be so connected with the divine, to how can I be more deeply engaged with this divinity, not outside of me, not hanging from a wall, not in a sacred temple, but the divine that is who I am. If the divine, like the cosmos, is unfolding through me as we speak, and by the way, if you're new here, I am a tea ceremonialist. I work with the way of tea as a way of life. And in this way of tea, the word way is Tao. Tea is Cha Tao. The Tao is literally unfolding. If I can describe the Tao, it's not the Tao, as Tao Te Ching would often say. But the Tao is tea. Tea is Tao. And so I fully resonate and feel the truth in the matter of the Tao living through me, the divine living through me, because I believe that the Big Bang that happened, that created the 10,000 things, it is still unfolding. It is still unfolding through me. It is still birthing through me. So the Tao itself has a flow. It has a specific flow. And this flow in the way of tea is often known as natural. To be natural. To be completely natural. And in action, it is Wu Wei. Take a deep breath. Wu Wei, do you know Wu Wei? Have you heard of Wu Wei? Let me know if you have or you have not. Wu Wei is the act of doing nothing, or rather, nothing doing nothing. And take a deep breath. So, if I already know that I am divine, and this is something that was so mind-blowing for me today when I was sitting in meditation and this came to me. If I know that I am divine, then wouldn't it be natural for me to literally flow into being divine? And yet, this is what I see often happening. You don't believe you're divine. You say you are, but your actions are mentally calculated. Your spirituality is managed. Your thoughts, your actions the way that you understand the divine, you try to control it. You try to decipher it through different techniques, through readings, through modalities that are created to understand yourself as a concept, which are all great, by the way. I'm not saying they're not. But have you really built up who you are from that foundation of divinity within you? Or have you given your power away to something else outside of you? And please breathe. When you say you have no clients, when you say nobody understands me, when you say no man will like me, when you say my boss doesn't understand me, when you say my brother doesn't get me, when you say my parents don't understand what I'm here to do, who are you giving the power to? Where's your power? We have to be so ready to build from the most basic foundation. We have complicated our spirituality so much. There are so many narratives, so many things out there. How you should be like what are ascension symptoms? What is this? What is the galactic council? What are the blah, 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 blah. When you return home to the divinity within you, you become the home of all beings. And please take a deep breath. Why is it so hard for us? I really sat with that. Why do priestesses, stewards of the earth, cosmic healers, why do we who work with the subliminal, who see the unseen, who work with tea, who work with herbs, who work with the nature, rocks, minerals, crystals, when it comes down to it, we decide to abandon the soul. We decide to abandon the divine. We decide to betray God and say instead, I'm going to go with the strategy that has worked for her because I need money now. I'm going to work with that person, even though I don't really resonate much with the templates, the AI generated stuff, but I have to because I need to find clients. I need to create that kind of music because nobody's going to get my music. So on and so on and so on. I need to look a certain way because otherwise that man won't get me. Or you're going to push on the other spectrum. You push, you try even harder. You work fucking hard to be understood. You block yourself. You protect yourself from disappointments. You guard your heart from connections because you've been betrayed before. People have stolen your work, stolen your ideas. But the truth of the matter is that there is only one of us here. Please take a deep breath. I know it's hard to hear. On a greater scale, even I cannot tell you why you had to grow up through what you grew up with. Whether it was a healthy family, but you still felt like a black sheep. whether it was a very unhealthy relationship, a very unhealthy family, and you grew up to be this person who's the right, who wants to do things right, who's always the good girl. Now, I'm just giving a few examples that I'm feeling in the field. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but you did choose to do this. You did choose to come here. And what I can tell you, I know, is that you came here to remember that you are the divine living in the here and now. You are co-creating your reality at every moment. With this great loom, the Tao itself that's living through you. You know, the moment when you can feel that you're going into your head and you're figuring things out, like, okay, what do I say? What can I say that's right? So that they can like me more. You're trying. You're no longer in flow with the Tao. And there is this really important, just this dichotomy that I want to talk about, is that there is inflow, and then there is the woman who just goes with the flow with everything, letting life take you to places that you don't want to go. That's not the way either. And so I'm witnessing two extremes, at least two extremes of people who are way too yin. And then there are those people who are just trying to manage the spirituality, managing God, managing how the divine tries to talk to you and live through you. That's not your intuition, my love. That's your instinct, your survival instinct. And your first job, your really first work, is really allowing yourself not going to another strategy, not going to another program that teaches you how to make millions or whatever it is to become more masculine again, but genuinely allowing yourself to come into a space where you get to witness who you really are come to life. In my mentorship space, I am giving this first priority. The first thing that happens when you are given space to do so is that you will witness how you react in duress, how you react when there is space. Because so many women who come to work with me, they are so not used to having space. Suddenly there is spaciousness to be me. Suddenly there is spaciousness for me to cry. Suddenly there is spaciousness for me to laugh and enjoy and celebrate and be nourished. That's unheard of. Yes. And I call that the frequency of sacred luxury, because it is the closest energetic match in material world to the divine. It's not about what you wear. It's not about the brand, the label. It's about your ability to receive and also give. Not giving to get something back. Not sending a prayer out to the divine and, looking over your shoulder and going like, okay, when is that coming? But knowing so fully that it is already here. When you build your business, your relationship, who you are from that foundation, you can be sure that anything is possible. You know why? Because you have given yourself, you have surrendered yourself to who you truly are, which is complete infinite. The infinite looks like nothing. The infinite looks like emptiness, because everything, all potential exists here. And when you are able to do so, you are really attuned to your divinity. And another name for divinity in this material world, imagination, feeling. Do you feel this? When you place your attention on what you feel in that nothingness, and you can feel the aliveness of that, more and more and more and more, that it is already done. And all you're doing is you're flowing on this journey towards that. It will become your reality. So I ask you, as I did ask myself a few years ago, how long are you going to sit in this place where you keep saying, there is no clients, nobody listens to me, I have no friends, nobody loves me, I am all alone. You know, this is an ancient wound of the ancient soul. I know it. I know that I know when I called you in, you're going to recognize this. I said very specifically, this is not for everyone. So if you're here, I know you resonate with this. It's a very ancient wound, and it's really time to heal it. Not by fixing it, not by putting more bandage over it, but actually bringing it home to wholeness. Because you are already whole. You've always had that wisdom within you. You know, if you don't believe me, I'm going to share with you. In Chan Buddhism, we've always said this from day one. It's so remarkable, like all the mantras written in those days have already touched upon most of the things that we are suffering through these days, humanity is suffering through these days. It says that prajna in Sanskrit, which literally means pre-knowledge, or translated into English, wisdom, is already innately in us. Nothing has changed. Nothing can change that. But it is within us, and we are here to awaken that. We are here to cultivate that true nature, our true nature, through sensing and feeling, experiencing. If nothing is ever incarnated into material world, it's not done yet. And please take a deep breath. So you here telling me that you can talk to angels, that you can talk to whatever, I mean, awesome. And when you are so embodied in that knowing, you got to bring it out to the world. This is the give and receive energetic flow. What is flow? Flow is not just coming in. Flow is flowing out. It's this symbol of 8, the infinity symbol. Yes? And I want you to imagine, blow up this infinity symbol to the entire earth. Hell, let's blow it up to the entire cosmos. See how, as you give to one part of the earth, it goes out to another part of the earth, and then from the other part of the earth, it goes into another part of the earth, and so on and so forth, and something comes back to you from another part of the earth that you had no idea of. This is the frequency of sacred luxury. There is an abundance, there is an overflow, and there is no scarcity, there is no lack, there is no fear. And even if there are, let that be a signal telling you something as a gift. Everything is a gift. So who here is trying really hard? Who here is trying really hard to be soul-led, to be one with the divine, and yet you're not finding any solace? You get some nourishment sometimes, once in a while. It's almost like breadcrumbs. And you almost start to spellbound yourself and say like, hey, it's okay. Like just a little bit of that, just a little bit of this, like it's good. But you're not begging for signs, my love. That's not the point. That moment when you connected with the divinity within you was the very first step. The journey began there. Have you walked it yet? Or are you hesitating? Compartmentalizing divinity, putting into the back of your spiritual closet because it doesn't have a place here with, your high-flying CEO job. Do you see how nonsensical that is? The divine is everything. To become one with the divine is all the reason why we're here. That's it. These things about the car, the amazing house we want, the amazing holiday we want, the amazing clothes we want, those are just guest stars. Great to have. But the ultimate real star of the show, we forgot. We betray. We cast aside even. Do you see how crazy that is? Do you see how you've been betraying your ancient soul? That if you call yourself a steward of the new earth, that you call yourself a cosmic dragon mother, that you call yourself a priestess, you call yourself that because you know that is who you are. But I'm not interested in your labels. I'm interested in your soul, in your light. Is it solid? Or do you crush it? The moment someone disagrees, do you crush it? The moment nobody responds? Or do you crush it when somebody says to you, you need to be a bit more down to earth? Nobody's gonna buy that. Do you crush it when somebody just comes up to you and say, you're batshit crazy? And I think the most heartbreaking thing, as it has happened to me, is when your own community turns you away. Has anyone had that happen? Yeah. I want you to know that all of these things has happened, and now we are invited to place our attention upon what we truly want. I'm sure you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Everything that has happened up to this point is an outcome of where you were. Your thoughts, your actions, your energy. You were an energetic match. And so in this realm, in this dimension, things are a little laggy. Okay. So you may be saying right now, like, fuck, yes, I am a multidimensional woman. Woohoo, let's fucking go. Let's do this. You want to compound that energy and keep compounding it every single day until it becomes so naturally you that, of course, you're flowing towards who that is. And how do you know? You don't even talk about it anymore. You don't even name yourself anymore. You don't even put like a label on it like, I feel like I have another breakthrough. You know, I hardly say that anymore. And this isn't something I'm saying to brag. I'm saying to you that it is possible. Because I wasn't like that. There were so many days when I literally was on my knees and angry at God because I didn't get it. I really didn't. That identity crisis of the one who worked so hard and hustled and got the results, and then now knowing that there's so much more to that, but nothing is really happening yet. Like, oh my God, what did I do? What have I done? Maybe I should go back to what worked. But you know, the universe loves you so much that it would not allow you to do that again, ever. And so even when you go back to doing it, it doesn't work. And you get so frustrated. You're like, oh my God, I don't know myself anymore. Who am I? I don't know who I am. Maybe I'm not meant to be doing this. And you're in the void. You're in the nothingness. And what happens when you're in there? You have to surrender. There is no choice but to surrender. And in that surrender, you start to hear what is truly singing in your heart. You start to listen to what your soul truly wants. Because there's nowhere else you can go. It's right here. You know, it's really important for me to tell you that this life, this glorious life we have, we're not just here to go to a 9-to-5, come home, have an average relationship. We're here, if you identify with what I wrote and brought you in here, we're here to model a legacy, a new legacy for the generations of women to come. Not the ones who subscribe to some kind of beauty standard, but the ones who are really in their own full power, with awareness as their sovereignty, who are deeply connected with the beings who walk this earth, human beings, rocks, minerals, rivers, trees, flowers. We're here to steward that legacy, not through talking and mentally visualizing it, but actually letting it incarnate through us. Listen again, letting it incarnate through us because it wants to come. But if we're constantly cutting it short, compartmentalizing it, saying like it won't work because nobody will get it, then we will never get there. Never. You have to be willing to have it all. You have to be willing to keep your heart open. The power of the young woman, the light leader, the one who embodies the light, and the yin woman, the mystic, the one who is open to the mystery, for life to be a mystery rather than a problem to be solved. That harmony needs to be mastered. And so why I love doing the work that I do is not because it's something that brings me, clients. I do the work that I do because it is the life that I live. This harmony is so much more than just having something to practice every day. It is the three-pronged triangle that I'm talking about here in sacred geometry. We have the samadhi power, we have knowledge, we have wisdom. Without one, it would not be complete. Samadhi power, what does that mean? The ability to sit in stillness. The ability to embody stillness. Doesn't mean that you have to be like Zen and sitting on the mountain, not talking. What I mean is you are still. You are the eye of the storm. You are one with the heart of the beloved. And understanding this, there are only two people that are in this play, the beloved and the lover. And ultimately, there's only one. Not just mentally knowing it. I can tell immediately. The minute you are able to say, wow, I'm so fascinated by the field that I've created, the people who came into my dream, the people who are connected through the fractals who are connected to me in the field, I will be like, okay, we're getting there. We're scrubbing you clean of all the old patterns of victimhood, of scarcity, of lack. Then we can talk about leading from the soul. Letting the soul lead. Honoring the soul's desires. Letting the soul evolve at its own pace. So how are you all feeling? As we come to completion, I really just want to say that we are living in a very important time of a great shift, a great cosmic shift. And we are in that in-between space of seeing nothing's really happening yet. Don't give up. In fact, it's really time that we all get together and walk together. I would love to extend my invitation to anyone who are feeling this. If you feel activated by this legacy that we are creating together, let me know. Let me know in the comments. It is such a beautiful work because we are literally living a life of ceremony when we're doing this work. We are communing with a greater, higher self. When we are able to allow ourselves to work with nature in such a profound way. When we work with nature, we are able to tap into that samadhi power through a very ancient plant. And it is not psychedelic. It is so ordinary, in fact. But what makes it special is the place of source. What makes it special is the human connection the leaf has with the farmers, with the artisans who created it. What makes it special is the ability for us to gather in a sacred ceremony. And I will be there to shift the energy. I will be there to lay the grid for the light to come through, for you to be in full transparency so that the light can radiate through you in your signature, in your expression. This is the work. It is ancient. It's not new. I don't have any marketing jargons. I don't have any hashtag. It's just simply something you will recognize. And if you do, may you have the courage to invest in yourself. May you have the knowing to follow what is true. There is no path. There is no step by step. But there is the Tao. And we are flowing towards it. We are flowing with it. We are flowing as one with it. So if this is for you, you're so welcome to contact me. I will share more details with you. Thank you so much for being here. And all my love to you. So for Insight Timer, give me a moment here. Let me know how you're feeling. I will open the space now for questions and reflections I will wait for about 2 minutes. If there's nothing, then I will end the session. Thank you, Eve. I'm so grateful that you're here too. Okay, my loves. It looks like there are no questions, no comments. I will send my love to you once more, and I will see you very soon.